saying she's pulled out all the tricks in the book and that she needs to kick things up a notch, and Tomas was listening at the door. All I could think is that I hope Tomas pushes this issue with Hayley and Randy kills him. I just want Tomas dead. Kill this character off. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates fans? We are back for another week of the show, as today we talk about the January 12th Monday episode of the show. Another episode where I would say about 95% of the episode revolved around Anita's cancer and the fallout and the gene testing. I do kind of feel like Beyond the Gates is trying to become one of the most depressing shows on TV, with this being the only storyline getting so much airtime. However, at least the Bill, Andre, Dani stuff has been built up with so much layers. You add in Hayley too, that at least that part of today's episode was really good in my opinion. The rest of the episode maybe not so much. So let's start with the strong stuff today. Nicole started this episode still there for Dani, comforting her in bed. They had some childhood memories. Dani talking about her testing positive and Nicole testing negative and how that's just genetics. And she doesn't want Nicole to carry the guilt of that situation. Nicole is feeling guilty, but she is, of course, relieved that her children won't have to be tested. Dani can't say that though, and Dani did have quite a breakdown in the middle of the episode in bed with Nicole trying to comfort her. Nicole wants Dani to take a bath and relax, and she will go check on Chelsea and Naomi for Dani because they are getting the news too that now they're going to get tested. Chelsea and Naomi did start the episode talking about the tests. Naomi was trying to set up the gene tests for her and Chelsea. Kat was there too, kind of trying to distract them with tea, I guess. I don't really know if Kat added much to today's episode. Naomi was, I think, trying to really get this test done as soon as possible, which is another thing that I think is realistic from this storyline, that Naomi wants to get this gene test over with for herself to see if she has the gene, but she's having a hard time with the website. I guess what Kat did try to do in today's episode was get Martin to talk to Chelsea. We didn't get to hear that conversation though, because Martin wasn't actually on the episode, but Chelsea did talk to Martin on the phone to see if Martin could have some good words to Chelsea. Nicole did end up checking up on them, and Nicole was trying to get Chelsea to grasp that even though they have this gene, or that Dani has the gene, and that Chelsea and Naomi might have the gene, Anita is the only person that has actually tested positive for cancer. And so I guess this is just more of the show trying to bring attention to the fact that if people have this gene, they should get tested, I guess. But they're really starting to stretch out this whole gene testing thing for the part of the story. And I think in today's episode, we kind of see that it might be mostly for the Dani and Bill situation. Before I get there, I do want to say Naomi did go to the hospital, ran into Ashley, got Ashley to try and speed up getting tests for her and Chelsea. How Ashley did this was she agreed to a coffee date with this Grayson character, who will be played by Jordi Vilasuso, or however you say his name, who I talked about in the preview yesterday. He has been in other soaps before. I would maybe be a little more excited if he wasn't going to be here for an Ashley storyline, but I guess that's how we set up Ashley going on a coffee date with Grayson in the next episode or two. Don't know if I love that they're using the cancer storyline to set up a date for Ashley, but, you know, this show will do all they can to make this character of Ashley work, even though she's kind of universally hated, so I continue to question why they do that. Andre was with Ted today. They discussed that it was test result day. They're both worried about Nicole and Dani. Carlton ended up being there, so Andre convinced Ted to talk to Carlton because, they used to be such good friends, and now Carlton's trying to move on with Nicole. This show has a weird way of trying to push characters to do things that they shouldn't want to do. The show always does with Kat. Everyone in the Dupree family tries to push Kat to have a sisterly relationship with her half-sister Eva when she doesn't need to if she doesn't want to. They're half-sisters. They don't need to have a relationship if Kat doesn't want to. That's Kat's prerogative. Ted has every reason to be upset with his old friend Carlton for trying to move on with his ex-wife if Carlton and Ted were supposed to be so close all these years. But whatever. I guess Andre convinced Ted to talk to Carlton, saying that Nicole's going to need the support and Carlton wants to be there to support Nicole, so maybe Ted can help that happen. So Ted did talk to Carlton, saying that Nicole deserves support after what Ted did to her. And he told Carlton to play it smarter with Nicole than Ted did. So I guess we are going to be moving along with this Carlton and Nicole stuff. And as everyone keeps asking in the comments, where's Kyle? I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Speaking of characters, new characters that debuted and then disappeared, at least today, Bill, Hayley, and Tomas were talking about Lynette's case at the firm and her, possibly embezzling from a bank or whatever. But Bill was distracted while Tomas was going over strategy because he was worried about Dani getting her test results today. Chelsea ended up calling Bill saying that they need him. So Bill wanted to rush on over to Dani, which of course upset Hayley. Bill wouldn't even tell Hayley what was wrong. He just said he can't talk to Hayley right now because his family needs him. Obviously, Hayley is supposed to be his family too now, but Bill always disregards that. Hayley and Tomas talked a bit after Bill left. Tomas tried to get through to Hayley that Dani might have tested positive because he got a text from Kat that Nicole tested negative. So Hayley, I guess, sees that, as she said, the fates weren't as kind to Dani. Hayley was frustrated in this conversation with Tomas that it seems that Dani will always come first to Bill. Tomas tried to convince Hayley that Bill is probably just looking out for his daughters. At the end of the episode, Hayley called Randy to, I guess, bitch and moan about Bill and the connection to Dani, saying she's pulled out all the tricks in the book and that she needs to kick things up a notch, and Tomas was listening at the door. I don't know how much Tomas really overheard. It didn't seem like he overheard too much. All I could think is that I hope Tomas pushes this issue with Hayley and Randy kills him. I just want Tomas dead. Kill this character off. I don't see it happening, but if they're going to involve Tomas in this, we might as well kill him off. The good solid drama that came out of today's episode was when Bill arrived to see Dani. Nicole was trying to keep Bill from Dani, but he went upstairs anyway. And Bill comforted Dani. Dani said that Bill should be with the girls. He shouldn't be here. But he was asking then, why does it feel so natural for me to be here? And then, of course, in good old soap opera fashion, Andre arrived. Nicole was there to tell Andre the bad news that Dani did test positive. He knew that Dani was probably trying to get a hold of him, but he somehow left his phone there. That was the trope to get Andre away from learning the results before Bill, I guess, so that Andre could walk in Dani's bedroom to see Bill and Dani in an embrace. So clearly they are using Dani testing positive to push this toxic pull that Bill and Dani have together. Dani brought up to Bill today Vernon's comparison that Bill is like an old shoe that is just comforting to Dani, but she still might need to get rid of it. But clearly there will always be this pull between Bill and Dani, and they do have chemistry, much like Andre and Dani have chemistry. We end the episode with Andre kind of getting in Bill's face, telling Bill that they will have a serious problem next time he finds them together in Dani's bedroom. Andre also gave it to Bill that when Dani needed Bill most, he was cheating on Dani with one of their daughter's friends and then married that daughter's friend. So Andre throwing that back in Bill's face. As this love triangle heats up, do I wish that we weren't using a cancer gene storyline to push Dani closer to Bill? Kinda, yeah. I would much rather use the Bill being poisoned storyline to do that, frankly. But that's what we're getting. And today's scenes with any scene with Dani today was great. You know, Carla Mosley, when she hits it out of the park, she hits it out of the park. I like the scenes with her and Nicole. I like the scenes with her and Bill. I like the scenes with Dani, with Andre walking in. And of course, the scenes between Andre and Bill to end the episode was the kind of, soap opera drama I've been missing from this show lately. So at least we got a little something, something. It'd be nice to move this Hayley storyline along, though. It'd be nice to see Lynette again. It'd be nice to see Kyle again, too, though. So overall, today's episode was fine. We are still revolving around the cancer storyline, which has become too much for me personally. But the Bill, Dani, Andre side of the storyline today was really good and really soapy. So that helps me in, maybe wanting to watch the show more this week. Coming into this week, I don't know if you watched my preview on Sunday, but I was having a hard time with this show. I'm just not motivated to watch a cancer storyline every single damn day. I'm just not. And it doesn't help that we're going to get an Ashley storyline to go along with it. That doesn't help me either. So I was not looking forward to watching today's episode, but it did end up better than expected, thankfully. I do think we're going to get the Ashley part of the storyline tomorrow, but, maybe we'll at least move away from the cancer a little bit. I still hope the show can get more A and B storylines to go along with this cancer storyline. Still holding out some hope that we get a good February sweeps from this show. I guess that's all I got to say today. I just have to say thank God for the Bill, Dani, Andre, Hayley storyline, because it at least has been built up with a lot of layers from when this show first began. So it really made the scenes with them today far more impactful than, any of the Naomi, Chelsea, Ashley, Kat scenes today. And frankly, the Ted and Carlton scenes didn't really hit either.